Hi everyone, welcome to Skip or Buy, here is why. This time we're talking about Rise of Ronin, the latest action RPG from Team Ninja. Is Rise of Ronin just another open world action RPG with lots of repetitive tasks, or is there something here that can hook you in and keep you playing? Well, today we're diving in to find out. We'll break down 5 reasons why you might want to skip this game, and I'll give you 5 reasons why it's definitely worth your time. And we'll also have a look at the game's biggest criticism, that is the repetitive world design. And hey, feel free to get involved in the conversation in the comments below. Alright, let's kick off with the first big red flag, and that is the open world design. And that's also my first reason why you want to skip this game. This is the one that I saw popping up across every review. The world, it's huge, but it feels like you're doing the same thing over and over again. So yeah, you got that massive map, but it quickly gets bogged down with tasks that feel more like busy work than fun objectives. And some of the side quests I played, they are nothing more than content filling, as they don't add anything meaningful to the game's progression. And honestly, for me personally, that repetitive grind was a killer. You know, there's a lot of running from one point to another, but it starts feeling like you're just checking boxes instead of being fully immersed into the world. And the second reason is the outdated graphics and performance issues. Honestly, I was expecting a much more polished next-gen experience. Having played the game, I really felt that the visuals don't quite match up to what I was hoping for in a new title. And there's more, I noticed some frame drops and lag when things got a bit intense. For a game this big, I really expected more polish here. And the third reason you might want to skip it is the weak gunplay. The game gives you guns, which is a cool idea, especially given the setting, but the games just don't feel satisfying to use. When you compare it to the fast-paced melee combat, they really feel underwhelming. And for me personally, I really think it's a bummer, because I thought the mix of sword fight and shooting would feel like a fresh change. Instead, the gun mechanism feels tacked on. They're there, but they don't really add anything exciting. And the fourth reason is the stilted storytelling and dialogue. We're dealing here with a historical period which has so much potential for deep, immersive storytelling. But the way it's executed, not so great. Characters feel a bit flat at times, and the dialogue delivery, it can be cringy. Some of the emotional beats just don't land, and you get the feeling that the story doesn't always know what it wants to be. It's like they had this epic idea, but it just didn't quite come together in the dialogue or pacing. And my last reason why you might skip it is the bond system, which sounds pretty cool on paper. You form relationships with NPCs and it impacts the story, or at least that's the idea. But in reality it feels pretty shallow. I felt when building these connections that it didn't really have an impact on the larger narrative or the gameplay. It just doesn't feel as meaningful as it could have been. And that's a letdown, because it's a feature that could have really set this game apart.
The name is Jules Brunet.
I just need spirited young folks who I can teach to fight from scratch.
As an interpreter, I have many contacts, you see. And though I cannot fight like you, I am confident that I will have a role to play.
Okay, now let's dive into reasons to buy this game. And reason 1 is the fast and fluid combat. If you're a fan of Team Ninja games, you're gonna love this one. The combat is fast, fluid and incredibly satisfying. I'm talking about swordplay where every swing feels impactful. Sure, it's challenging, but once you get the hang of it, it's a blast. You've got different stances and a ton of weapons to switch between, making every encounter feel fresh. And the second thing I loved is the historical background of Rise of the Ronin. It's not your typical fantasy RPG world, and that's what makes it feel unique. If you're into history, this setting is a breath of fresh air. And another reason to get into this game is the player choices and the story impact. Okay, the bond system might not be perfect, but the choices you make throughout the game can influence how the story unfolds. All this adds replayability and makes you feel like your actions really matter, especially when it comes to forming alliances and deciding who you trust. And next to the combat, it's a really nice way to keep you engaged in the game. And the fourth reason why this game works for me is the variety of combat styles. It's not just about slicing through enemies with a katana. You've got a full range of weapons to experiment with. Each one felt very different and I was really eager to try them all out. If you like a bit of diversity in your combat, this game's got it. And then my last reason for getting this game is the political drama and rich political intrigue. The story itself might not always hit the mark, but the political intrigue in the background is really strong. You're in a time of major change in Japan, and you're right in the middle of that chaos. If you enjoy a game where the story is more than just a simple quest, this one delivers on the intrigue. So here's the thing, if you're a fan of fast-paced combat and historical settings, then this game is exactly what you need. However, if you're the type who gets bogged down by repetitive world design or underwhelming graphics, this might not be the game for you. So yeah, the bigot criticism about being in a repetitive open world, I can see where people are coming from. The world feels big, but after a while it does feel like you're just running through the motions. So is it a skip or is it a buy? I think if you're looking for something fresh and challenging with lots of combat, then it's definitely a buy. But if you're not into those annoying world building tasks, then you might give it a pass. Alright, now it's your turn. What do you think? Did the world design really break the game for you as well? Or is it still worth jumping into? Please let me know in the comments. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more reviews like this. Catch you in the next one.